Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the More Survivalist, and couldn't be any other way talking about coronavirus again. So the situation is the following. If you've been catching up with the latest news in Italy, there's been an outbreak. There's already 130 something people infected, confirmed. There's at least 3 dead as of right now, and it's pretty concerning because there's really not a lot of information as to how this happened. How is it that all of a sudden in northern Italy there's been an outbreak of coronavirus? I did a little bit of research online. I found this article in elmundo.es, which is a Spanish website, and it's pretty interesting. It's explaining that the guy that started this, they don't know for sure who it is. There's been a person, an Italian, that's been running marathons, traveling all over, and this guy has been infecting a bunch of people. This is one of the persons that has been infecting the most people, but they don't know how he got infected. So the World Health Organization is calling this literally a mystery. They don't know how it happened, because at first they thought that he got sick because of a friend who he had a dinner with, who just arrived from China, from a trip, a business trip over there, and he infected this other Italian who spread it. But it turns out that the guy that traveled to China is not infected. They tested him, so they don't know. So there's a couple of things. First of all, this Italian has been moving around since February 1st. It's moving around, spreading the disease. So in just a couple of days, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds more of infected Italians for sure. Second, they don't know who patient 0 is for this specific outbreak. He's still out there infecting people. It is, I mean, if you want to get into the conspiracy theory, you have more than enough material here. You know, in any case, it is concerning. It is already pretty much a pandemic, and it's not going to be getting better anytime soon. So all the precautions that we've been talking about so far, you need to take them. One of the things I was being asked was in terms of face masks, respirators, filters, all this stuff. One of the questions I was getting is, how long does this stuff last? Because these are supposed to be disposable, and these NATO 40mm canisters, these are supposed to last only 1 hour. Now, I already talked about some of this stuff before, and especially after having talked with David Jones, who's an actual expert in this field. In theory, a filter like this will last an hour, but only in extreme cases. Like if you're talking about a nuclear fallout, radioactive particles, and you know, literally after a nuclear bomb exploded, this is only going to be lasting an hour in that type of dust. On the practical side, as long as the structure is okay, it keeps on filtering because it's a physical filter. It's just filtering the particles that come in, and what it's trying to do here is filter those small droplets of saliva from the people that either cough or exhale, and it's floating in the air. Gets filtered. As long as the filter is not damaged, it should keep on working. Same goes for these ones, even though they are disposable. Now, ideally, you would use these and just get rid of them after a single use. What if you don't have more of these and you have to make a decision? Well, that is up to each one. It is true that the more you use these, they get saturated, they get humid, and they can start you know, getting quite dirty after some time, especially with humidity. Do you want to have something that may be infected and, you know, maybe worse than nothing? Well, it is up to each one. David Jones was telling me that the US Post uses microwaves so as to sterilize some of the suspicious mail. You could put this in the microwave for a minute. It's going to be killing anything that's in there. If you even have a nice sunny day, putting this exposed to sunlight for several hours is going to be helping to sterilize it. How much can you trust that? Ideally, you wouldn't have to do any of that. You would just dispose of it, get a new one. These filters, of course, are more durable, will last more. This one's not so much, but it is up to each one to make that decision. Is it better than nothing to keep using the same filter? Yes, sure. I would keep using it if I had just one. I have to use it throughout, several days, keeping track so as to make sure it's not getting too humid or too dirty. At the same time, if you are in a city where the disease is out there, do you really want to have something that's moist and maybe had been exposed to the virus, touching and keep using it time and again? Make your best efforts as to get this type of filter or these type of filters, which you can actually replace the filtering material as needed. That would be the ideal thing to do. And also don't forget that it's not just about having the respirators face mask. It's about using alcohol gel, washing your hands often with soap and water, having eye protection so as to protect your eyes as well, boosting your immune system as much as you can. Stuff we've talked about before in the channel. Sleep well, try to not be stressed, well rested, eat well, do exercise, lots of vitamin C, all of that helps. Most of the people that have died because of coronavirus are either elderly or have some medical condition pre-existent that weaken their response to the virus. So all of that it does come into play as well. Guys, that's basically it. Just common sense stuff. Many of the precautions we've been talking about for a while now. If you don't have this material, it's kind of difficult to get now, but if you go online and you look at some of the particle masks, the industrial ones, some of those are still around. You can still get those, and they are better than the N95 filters if you actually know what you're looking for. So I leave the link for some of these things available below. I'll also leave the links for my books. Amazon is currently doing a sale on my first book. I think it's going for like 5% discount or something like that. And of course, Street Survival Skills, my latest book, in which I talk about some of this stuff, how to make your own hand sanitizer as well, and some of these things that I've been talking about so far. Guys, that's all. See you on our next video. Have an awesome day.